Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Yashabala coming at you with another lesson. And the first thing I'm going to do is give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakodash. Second thing I want to do is give double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And salutations to you, brothers, for pushing this world with true sincerity to share it. So this lesson is going to be pretty quick, just because I've seen something today. I'm obviously, well, not obviously, because you brothers don't know, I'm in Florida right now, and we were just at, some water park. We seen this kid, really crashing out, man. He was really crashing out, and he was screaming, he was yelling, he was doing this. He raised his hand to his mom, and, back in the day, from the stories we heard as a kid, back in the day, that kid would have got whooped outside right then and there, man. But parents are so scared to even talk to their kids a certain type of way outside because of what social media has portrayed, whooping your kids' ass, man. They make it seem like you beating them or you doing something wrong, when really you just discipline your kid because they being bad, man. Sometimes they need that correction. That rod, man. Because kids are real silly, and they're gonna do silly stuff. They test the waters to see what they can get away with. And that whooping is you showing them, nah, man, that shit not gonna fly, man. So what should I get? I'm gonna start with this. This is Sirach chapter 30 and verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him ought to feel the rod, that he may have joy with him in the end. Right, man? So if you love your son, you're gonna whoop him, and when he gets older, he's then not gonna be able to have joy. He might not like you then, but it's all for the better. You said, he that has joy when a son he that chastises his son have joy in him, and rejoice of him among his acquaintances. He that teases his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice with him. Right, man? So, when you chastise your son, you have stuff to be proud of, man. Then you can brag about him. You can brag about him to your friends. My son do this, my son do that. And you and your son have a better relationship because your son, he grows up to appreciate what you did for him. He might not like it then and there, but he's gonna grow to appreciate it. And it's not always about what they like, man, because it's too good for the parent either. Because you might be your only child, or you might feel some type of way for it. But it's ultimately for the betterment of your son. And it says, he that teaches his son grieveth the enemy, man. Esau, he wants Jake to be stupid, man. He wants his kids to be out of control. When Esau see these kids in these school systems being out of control, doing this, he smiles and laughs, man, because he knows what he's doing is working. All this stuff he done went through, and all these just, I don't even know how to put it, man. But it says, he that teaches his son grieveth the enemy. So a man that is teaching his son how to be a man, Esau don't want to see that. And that's why he downplays it and makes it seem like it's such a big problem. That's why he makes it seem like whooping your son is such a big problem, man. Because he wants to see his son acting out. He wants to see his son in games. He wants to see, Jake's numbers decrease, man. And all of this, it starts from the home. This is Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chastises him betimes. Right, man? So if you spare your rod, you ultimately hate your son. You know, because it's like a brother, man. If you seeing a brother go off and you're not saying nothing to him, man, you ultimately are just as wrong as he is. You know. So when you see your son going off, correct him, man, because that's love, man. It says open rebuke is better than secret love. You know. So if you see your son going off, man, you gotta correct him butt times, and that butt times go into early. As soon as it happens, man, correct him. Because if you don't, man, they're gonna think it's okay, and then they're gonna keep doing it. It's gonna become a bigger problem in the future. It's Proverbs 22 and verse 15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive him far from it. Right, man. So foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, man. It's bound to happen. They bound to do foolish stuff. It's like when a baby is sticking a fork in the outlet, man. Your first instinct is to scream and maybe pop their hand. Does that mean you abusing them? No, that means you love them, man. You don't want nothing to happen to them. That don't mean, oh, I hate my son because I just hit him because he was doing something wrong, man. No, that's love. That's showing your love for your son, because if you let him do that, son or daughter, if you let them do that, they're gonna hurt themselves or kill themselves, man. Then you're gonna be feeling like, oh, and ultimately it's your fault for not correcting it when it happens, man. This is Proverbs 22 and verse 6. It says, train up a child in the way he shall go, and when he is old, he shall not depart from it. Right, man? Train up a child in the way he shall go, and when he is old, he shall not depart from it. So when you training up your child, and you train him this certain way, and you train him, when he's old, he's going to use these things, in his day-to-day life. Not only he's going to use these things, he's going to teach these things to his kids, man. And now you're going to have generations of good kids, man. Because y'all training them, when they need that rod, they're getting it. No diddy. But when they need that correction, you're giving it to them right then and there, man. So don't hold back that rod, man. If they need it, they need it, man. And it may hurt, as a parent, but it's all for the betterment of the child. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Second thing I want to do is give all honor and glory to. Second thing I want to do is give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And salutations, brothers, pushing this word in truth and with charity. Shalom.